Every day, you make decisions: what to buy, who to trust, what to believe. But here's the real question. Are those decisions really yours, or are they designed? This channel breaks down the psychology behind everything. I'm Shrest, and this is where we decode the world.
Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving into a fascinating and honestly kind of unsettling reality about how our minds actually work. We all like to think we view the world completely objectively, right? But the truth, we're literally navigating a world of symbols. Our brains are totally hardwired to look for shortcuts. It's this ancient survival tool that helped our ancestors figure out complex social hierarchies. We rely on signals to tell us who to trust, who's in charge, and when we should just fall in line. But because these are automatic, blink-of-an-eye snap judgments, this survival feature can be incredibly easily hacked. So, would a piece of clothing make you hurt a complete stranger? Now, your immediate gut reaction is probably, no way, absolutely not, I've got a solid moral compass. But hold that thought. Let's dive into this. Because back in 1961, a social psychologist at Yale University named Stanley Milgram proved that, for most of us, that's just not true. Haunted by the atrocities of the Holocaust, Milgram really wanted to know if ordinary people would blindly follow destructive orders just because they were told to. So he set up a deeply chilling experiment.
Okay, so here's how this played out. Volunteers were brought in and told they were the teacher in a memory study. Meanwhile, an actor, playing the learner, was hooked up in another room. For every single wrong answer, the teacher had to zap them with an electric shock from this really terrifying-looking generator. It started at a mild 15 volts, and sitting right there in the room, overseeing the whole thing, was a guy in a gray lab coat, just calmly taking notes. As the voltage cranked up, the actor next door would cry out in pain. By 300 volts, the learner is literally pounding on the wall, begging to be let out. At 315 volts, just deadly silence. The teachers were sweating, they were trembling, practically begging to stop. But the man in the gray lab coat, he just calmly dropped cold, calculated prods. The experiment requires that you continue, or you have no other choice.
Now get this, before they even started, psychiatrists predicted that only a tiny fraction of a percent, like basically just the absolute most sadistic people out there, would actually pull that final switch. Well, they were dead wrong. A staggering 65% of participants, ordinary everyday people, administered the full, potentially deadly 450-volt shock. 2 out of every 3 people went all the way to the very end, even after the guy in the next room went completely quiet. Why? Simply because they obeyed the guy in the lab coat.
So what's going on here? The mechanism driving this absolutely terrifying level of compliance is called authority bias. It is a wildly powerful psychological force. Basically, it's our tendency to just automatically trust and assign credibility to anyone we perceive as an authority figure. And here's the kicker. We often do this without even really listening to the substance of what they're actually saying. Our brain sees a signal, like the prestigious context of Yale University or that crisp official-looking uniform, and it takes a massive mental shortcut. It assumes, hey, this guy knows what he's doing. It's definitely safer to just follow orders. Your critical thinking, completely bypassed. Milgram actually identified a specific psychological condition for this shift, calling it the agentic state. This is the exact moment a person stops seeing themselves as an independent human being and starts seeing themselves purely as a tool, an instrument carrying out somebody else's wishes. When those panicked teachers in the experiment hesitated and asked, wait, who is responsible if this guy actually gets hurt? The experimenter just calmly replied, I am responsible. Boom. That was the trigger. They made that agentic shift, literally handing over their own conscience and moral compass straight to the guy in charge. And this whole thing brilliantly highlights the raw power of the symbol itself. You see, Milgram actually ran a variation of this experiment. He took away the gray lab coat. Instead, the orders were given by just an ordinary man wearing everyday street clothes. And guess what? Obedience absolutely plummeted. It crashed from 65% down to just 20%. The authority didn't come from the man himself, right? It came purely from the visual signal of that lab coat. That piece of fabric was a symbol of scientific competence and legitimacy that literally commanded the brain to obey. Now, don't go thinking this is just some dusty old psychology experiment from the 60s. This exact mechanism is running in the background of your life every single day. The lab coat is just one signal. Think about a police uniform or a judge's robe, and the modern, everyday equivalent of the lab coat, it's the business suit. A suit isn't just fabric, it's a highly concentrated bundle of signals that your brain processes in a split second. It screams competence, seriousness, and discipline.
Honestly, the exact same sentence spoken by someone in a beautifully tailored suit sounds absolutely brilliant and strategic. But if that same sentence is spoken by some guy in a hoodie, your brain might automatically view it with suspicion. The words are identical, but the packaging completely hacks your judgment. This happens because of a little thing psychologists call the halo effect. It's our built-in tendency to let one single positive trait, like being super sharply dressed, spill over and totally contaminate our judgments of completely unrelated things. Like we assume because they dress well, they must be honest or intelligent or highly capable. The suit creates a literal halo of competence. And it totally works for other types of clothing too. Think about high visibility jackets. They've become so common they literally act as social camouflage. Because our brains instantly associate a neon vest with legitimate work, our critical analysis just shuts right down. There are actual cases where criminals have used high-vis vests to rob stores and museums in broad daylight, just because everybody automatically assumed they belonged there. Crazy, right? And it gets even deeper, because this whole system of symbols is so powerful, it even changes how we view ourselves. Scientists call this Enclothed Cognition. There's this incredible classic study where researchers gave participants a white coat. Now, when they told the participants it was a doctor's coat, their performance on attention-related tasks just shot straight up. But when a second group put on the exact same white coat but were told it was a painter's smock, absolutely zero change in their performance. So it's not just the physical act of wearing the clothes, it is your internal belief in the symbol that literally rewires how your brain operates in real time. But hey, it's not just about your wardrobe. Authority is also engineered through completely non-visual cues. Think about it. A really calm, steady tone of voice signals that a person is unshakable. Dropping your vocal pitch right at the end of a sentence, that signals absolute rock-solid certainty. And taking these slow, strategic pauses before answering the question shows that you are totally in control, rather than just reacting. Let me tell you, these aren't accidents. These are highly engineered auditory signals, specifically designed to command respect and completely bypass your natural skepticism. So here is the absolutely crucial point we need to land on. Signals can be faked. Sure, real competence exists, but the mere appearance of competence can be entirely manufactured from thin air. Scammers have known this for, well, centuries. They completely exploit our authority bias by manufacturing the perfect illusion of legitimacy. A good con artist knows that flashing an expensive watch and wearing a crisp suit will lower your defenses way faster than any logical, well-reasoned argument ever could. We are constantly mistaking pure competence for actual competence. And man, social media has put this entire phenomenon on absolute steroids. Back in the day, authority was granted by big, formal institutions, like Yale and Milgram's experiment. But today, anyone can manufacture what we call aesthetic authority right out of their bedroom. Think about the online influencers you see. They use a very specific bundle of trust signals, a high-end microphone right in frame, a really smart-looking bookshelf blurred in the background, perfect cinematic lighting, and this incredibly calm, deliberate delivery. These fake gurus are hacking our ancient survival codes using this exact bundle of signals to appear super credible. The aesthetic itself becomes the persuasion. They're selling you advice based entirely on a carefully constructed image, rather than any actual real-world expertise. So let's look at the survival guide, identifying manipulation tactics in daily life. So how exactly do we protect ourselves in a world where authority can be so easily faked? Well, we need a system. Now, the goal here isn't to become some bitter cynic who distrusts every single person they meet. The goal is simply to become aware. Here are 3 highly effective ways to spot fake authority signals when you run into them. Step 1, presentation versus substance. You've got to actively train your brain to separate the actual message from the flashy signal. Ask yourself, if I just read this person's words plain text on a blank piece of paper, would they still sound brilliant? Step 2, the costume check. Whenever you feel that immediate unearned trust for a stranger, just pause. Ask yourself, is my trust actually based on their demonstrated expertise, or is it just their confident tone and that really nice suit doing all the heavy lifting? And finally, step 3, the aesthetic trap. Especially when you're online, ask yourself if the production value, the moody lighting, the big fancy mic, the bookshelf, is what's actually manufacturing your trust. Building this awareness and just learning to hit the pause button to question the signal is honestly the absolute best defense we've got. Look, at the end of the day, we are all wired to respond to these mental shortcuts, whether it's a doctor's white coat or a CEO's luxury watch. And they aren't inherently good or bad. They're just the tools our brains use to navigate a really complex social world. But by actively learning to question the signal, you're taking that crucial first step toward reclaiming your own mind. So I want to leave you with this. What is the most powerful authority signal you've noticed in your own everyday life?
Is it a specific uniform, a fancy job title, or maybe something else entirely? Think about it and drop your experiences in the comments below. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. And remember to keep questioning what you see.